Hi guys, it's Lyn Vanieuy and today is going to be another story time video. I know I haven't put one up in quite some time, so I figured that it would be good to do one. Sorry about the face situation, my under eye looks crazy. I was trying a new concealer and oh my god. And I also tried a new blush, so I look a little too rosy. I went a little ham on it. So anyway, let's just get straight into the video. If you guys like story times, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're not already, click the subscribe button. Let's be friends and let's just get right into it. So before I get started, I just want to say that I don't condone drug use. I don't condone this sort of behavior. This was when I was a teenager and at a time in my life where I was still trying to figure out who I was and I was experimenting a lot, and yeah. So I will put some links in the description box below for those of you who are struggling, and if you have an addiction, click off this video. This might be triggering for you. The first story I'm going to tell is about the time I tried shrooms. Basically, at this time I was with one of my ex-boyfriends. An ex-boyfriend I talk about a lot on this channel. Not a lot, but twice now. Oh, 3 times now. This will be the 4th. I will link all the videos involving him in the description box below in case you're interested. Yeah, basically I wanted to try it, but I wanted to try it at like a toned down level because shrooms is like insane. So at the time I had, I think it was only 1 shroom or like half a shroom or something, just so that my high wasn't gonna be like fucking crazy. Basically I was with my ex at his house, and at the time his little sister had a friend over and it was just me and him doing the shrooms, so like don't think that, you know, we involved his little sister and her friend in it, because we didn't. It was just the 2 of us. So I had 1 shroom or like half a shroom or something. I just felt really uncomfortable no matter what situation I was in. So like we were outside, and if you know anything about me, I'm very like particular, like I won't eat outside and things like that just because like bugs, it just, yeah, me and bugs do not get along. So on shrooms outside, I just felt like there was bugs everywhere, like too many bugs. Like I did not want to be outside. It made me super uncomfortable. And then when we went inside, I felt like it was too much of a small space, even though his house was literally massive. Like they lived in a massive house, but I just felt too confined and like I couldn't breathe and like claustrophobic, and I just felt cramped, if that makes any sense. I know it's really weird. So basically like I couldn't find this happy medium, and I wasn't tripping or seeing things, but I was getting like feelings. And basically I just remember like looking at my ex's little sister, her friend, I'm not gonna use names, but her and I are actually like acquaintances, like we talk sometimes, we're friendly with each other. But I remember looking at her and being like, this bitch is trying to steal my man. And like for no reason. Like I'm like fairly certain that nothing was happening. It was just like the shrooms in my brain. I was like, this bitch. I was like, she's flirting with him, she's checking him out, like she's being all like, and I was like, what a fucking bitch, like what the hell? I'm like fairly certain that that wasn't happening, like it was just in my brain. But yeah, that was my experience with shrooms. That's pretty much all that was noteworthy about that experience. So next story to do with drugs as well. I've kind of combined these 2 stories because they're each not really long enough for their own. So the next story is actually after my ex and I broke up. We were together and then we broke up, and then we got back together and then we broke up. So we dated 2 times, and this was after the first time we dated. So the first time we broke up, my best friend and I in high school were both very experimental with things, I'll say. Not with each other, but like she was doing a lot of drugs, I was drinking and doing a lot of drugs, like just, you know, not good wholesome things. So I can't remember if she was on this medication or if her mom was on this medication, but basically she was on a medication called clonazepam. And what's funny about this is I'm actually on this medication now for my anxiety and depression, but I pretty much only take it as a sedative when I'm having like a panic attack. At that time, I wasn't on this medication. We had obtained this medication either by her being on it or her mom being on it, and we decided to take like, I don't know, it had to have been like 5 or 6 pills each, which is a lot. Like my dose is, I think it's 0.50 milligrams, and it pretty much knocks me out. Like I fall asleep on it. Yeah, we ended up each taking like 5 or 6 of these pills, and basically from what I can remember is I had basically taken this as a way to hopefully get my ex's attention because I was weird like that. If you watched my other story time video about the time I did cocaine, then you know that I have a bad habit of doing things like this. Well, at least I did when I was a teenager. If you guys haven't seen that video, I will put a card up here and then I will also put it in the description box below. But yeah, basically we took these pills, then we heard about this party that was happening at this one apartment building, and at least one of my ex's friends was at this party. We made it a mission to take these pills and walk from her house to this apartment building, which she basically lived just outside of downtown. Where I grew up, downtown is in like a valley area and then the rest of town is sort of like uphill. So she lived just outside of downtown. So we were like in the little valley area and the apartment building was up the hill, probably only about like halfway up the hill. And so she lived over here, downtown was right here, and then the apartment building we were going to was like up over here. Essentially, this walk should have only taken 10 minutes, if that, but because we had taken these pills, it took us probably a good like 25 minutes. I just remember that these made me absolutely lose a good majority of my motor function. It was as if we had like taken ether or something, and I've never done that, but if you've seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, there's this scene where they like huff ether and then they go into like this like sort of moving carnival type thing and they're like walking like they have like absolutely no control of their bodies.
Devil ether. It makes you behave like the village drunkard in some early Irish novel. Total loss of all basic motor skills. Blurred vision, no balance, numb tongue. The mind recoils in horror, unable to communicate with the spinal column. Which is interesting because you can actually watch yourself behaving in this terrible way, but you can't control it.
And that's basically how I felt. Like, I felt like I was extremely drunk and I just could not get my body working the way I wanted it to, if that makes any sense. Like, I could still walk and I could still do things, but at the same time it was like very, very difficult. So yeah, it took us about 25 minutes or so to get to this apartment building. We had never been in this apartment building. We didn't know how to get in, blah, blah, blah. We ended up finding a way in. Also, I would just like to say it was pouring rain, first of all, while we were waiting for a way to get into the apartment building. The apartment building's here and then there's like a row of like townhouses and stuff. There's like drainage pipes, so from the like the eaves trough and then like down into these drainage pipes, and they come out from the wall on like an angle and they're like very long. I was trying to walk across these lawns and I fucking bailed so hard on one of these drainage like eaves trough thingies. I just went flying because I just didn't have control of my body. I was absolutely fucked up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got like covered in mud and all this stuff. And we ended up going into the party. I just remember like I was like smoking weed out of like a bong. I remember my ex's friend like commenting like how messed up I was and how like disgusting it was, and he made some like really hurtful comments about like how I was behaving and stuff, but in hindsight it makes sense and I really was not being myself. I was just like doing this to be spiteful and to try and get his attention, which by the way didn't work. So if you're gonna do something unlike yourself to try and get a guy's attention, don't do it. It's probably not gonna work in your favor and it's probably not good for you. I honestly, that night, I don't remember like how we got home. I don't remember like anything. I just remember like it took us forever to get from her place to this apartment building, and I ended up like falling and hurting myself really badly and like getting covered in mud and going to this party. Yeah, it was just bad. It was bad. Yeah, don't do drugs, kids. It's awful. And don't be irresponsible and stupid like I was. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And like I said, hit subscribe. Let's be friends. Don't forget you can follow all my social media products listed in the description box below for you guys to check out. Also, I will list the other videos that I talked about in the description box below as well. Until next time, keep shining. Bye guys.